What up, y'all? DCFAYGOGUY. Today, wait a minute. This isn't Cosmosis. Where the hell am I? Oh, wait a minute. The Silver Boys. Okay, Klokwerky. See what's up. I see what's up. Okay. You guys want me to listen to the new album, huh? Fuck it. Let's do it. Oh yeah. Okay, I really like this one. This one's got a nice chill vibe to it right here. This is the shit right here. Oh yeah, I like this one too. This has got a good vibe to it. Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much for bringing me on your ship. Thank you for not making me boof anything too. That's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, if you guys want to get me back on Earth, I'll let fucking everybody know about this album. This album's the shit.
Boof the album.
Listen, I'm not boofing. I'm not boofing your fucking CDs.
Do it!
Listen, get me back to Earth. Let me make my fucking review. Let me tell all the other Earthlings about this shit. And maybe I'll consider boofing. Just once. Just for you guys, okay? But you gotta get me back to Earth first. Deal? So today we are going to be reviewing the brand new album from Klokwerk, the Emerald Tablets. This album right here, I have been waiting for. I think a lot of people have been waiting for. I think at this point, most everybody knows who Klokwerk is. They've been making noise in the Juggalo scene. They performed at The Gathering. They performed at Juggalo, Ohio. They performed at Camp Zool. They've been getting around. They've been making a lot of noise. And through all of this, they've had no album out. Everything that they've been performing has been various singles that they've put out. So this is their first album. It's definitely something I had been waiting for. When I first caught wind of them, I looked into them and all I found were singles. I was like, well, I'll wait for them to have an album to drop. If you know me in the past, I've talked about singles. Sometimes they fall to the wayside. I don't always go in and just like listen to singles. I've been doing better about making playlists, but I still don't always slap singles in there. It's sort of easier to go find an album, just kind of hold on it, and then add it to a playlist if you're familiar with Apple Music at all. And that's typically the way I've always done things. So going and getting singles together and putting them on a playlist hasn't really been something I've even really gotten a strong suit at. So when it came to Klokwerk, I had been sitting and waiting for an album. And when this finally dropped, the track list for it, I quickly studied. I was like, all right, what songs are they going to put on this that they've been releasing? Because they've had a lot. And I was super duper surprised to see the track list and see that really none of the tracks that they've been putting out made it. Obviously, they did Moon and Nights recently, but I think that was kind of a lead single for the album. But none of the others made it on there. Dama Your Mama with SON was not on the album. They just put that single out, I think last October was when it came out. So I was super shocked to not see that on there. And I don't know if maybe they kept that one off because they wanted this to be like a solo effort for their first release. That I can understand, that I can respect, if you will. But it was such a good track. They killed it. SON killed it. It was just a really good song. So I think that would have been a really cool song to see on the album. Another one that I really like of their singles that they put out. I mean, obviously, everything I've heard from them so far. I've done a reaction video where I listened to 3 songs. Dama Your Mama was one of them. Juggalo Penis was the other. And I forget what the third one was. But there's one of their songs I've gone to listen to. And this might be the one this might have been the one that I reacted to. Again, I'm all over the place when it comes to listening to music, so I haven't really revisited Klokwerk until this album came out. But another song that I really liked was Living in My Head. So super surprised to see neither one of those songs on here. Really surprised to not see Juggalo Penis on here because that shit was catchy. And I don't know if that was them not wanting to pander too much. Throughout this album, I only recall them saying the word Juggalo one time. And it was in Bust, where it was mentioned. But really, other than that, I don't think there was any other references. And I say that because there's actually 2 songs that I deleted out of the album. So when I listen to it, I don't have the speed bump. And I'm going to go ahead and dive into that right now and talk about it, because Give Me a Show and That's My Bitch are a huge departure from the vibe of the album. They really slowed down the album, in my opinion. Huge shift. They both follow up Invasion, which is like an 80s hip hop. Wow, what's the fucking word? You have the DJ. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, I don't even know how to fucking properly describe that. But the song Invasion, it gets me hype. It gets me, yeah, I got that, yeah, I got that, That gets me fucking like going, gets me kind of pumped up. And it's like a pump on the brakes when we get into Give Me a Show, and then followed up with That Is My Bitch. And actually, my first listen, it was such a huge speed bump. I actually left the album and went back and listened to the new Fun Time album. And then like a day or two later, came back and gave it another shot. But I hit the same speed bump. I powered through them, got to the rest of the album, and I pretty much made that decision right then and there. I listened to both of those songs like one more time, deleted them off the album, and I've been listening to the album without them, and it flows and it runs so much better without those two songs. And I'm not saying that they're bad songs. It's just the vibe of the rest of the album shifts so much when you hit those two songs. They have kind of a 50s music kind of sound, romance kind of feel to it. And they just, to me, don't fit the album at all. And actually, it honestly left me wondering, why were these two put on, but not Living in My Head and not Dame Ya Mama? Living in My Head, okay, it's a little bit more of a sad boy song, so maybe putting that in the album would throw off the vibe as well. But Dame Ya Mama definitely should have been on there. And maybe even Juggalo Penis maybe should have been on there as well. Just, the way that this album flows, the way that this album works, there are skits, and I've seen people point out that this album is kind of a majority of skits. You have the Intergalactic Radio. The intro is basically, remember they put out a thing on social media not too long ago for anybody to call in and leave a message. And I believe that was the result. I actually was going to do that, but never did. I didn't get around to doing it. But there is an intro. There's the Intergalactic Radio, which is kind of a skit, kind of a Radio Stars-ish song. If you remember the song Radio Stars from ICP off of Bizarre, it is kind of like that. They're in their ship, they're listening to the radio, and it's basically spoofs or parodies of different songs that have come out in the past. The Baja Boys, or I think it's the Baja Men, Who Let the Dogs Out, Everyone in the Party is Boofing, yippee-yi-yo. That shit caught me off guard. So it's kind of little parodies like that. Let me just give you my top 5 songs real quick, and then I want to start jumping into, a little bit of the individual tracks a little bit. But my top 5 songs are Moonanites, Dong, Invasion, Levitate, and Black Cube, with my favorite, and this one's tough. This one is tough. I would have to say my favorite is either Dong or Invasion. Again, Invasion gets me, it gets me going a little bit. They all kind of, Moonanites, Dong, Invasion, Levitate, and a little bit of Black Cube, they are all earworms that have gotten in my head. And that's why I have to give them the top 5 spots. This album, to me, you take out the 2 speed bumps. You take out Give Me a Show. You take out That's My Bitch. This album, to me, is flawless. I think it's a great first effort. It's a little bit more of an EP with lengthwise. It's 26 minutes without Give Me a Show and without That's My Bitch. With them, it's 31 minutes. So you could technically say it's a full length, but they are a lot of shorter tracks. But again, taking those out, it gets it down to 26 minutes. Even if you want to call this an EP, I still think it's a very solid effort from them. I really like the flow of the album. I really like this first effort. Take out those 2 songs. I just don't think they fit the album enough. I feel like they would be great singles on their own, but to me, they really threw off the vibe and the flow of the album. So diving in, I want to talk about Dong, because for any juggalos out there that have not listened to this, or any juggalos who have listened to this, there's one thing that I've talked about in other reviews before, and that is, when it comes to the pandering thing, I want I want Juggalo artists, I want Juggalo rappers to tell me they're a Juggalo without telling me they're a Juggalo. And there's so much about Dong that gives me ICP vibes. First of all, you've got the banjo, so it's kind of like some classic redneck hoe. It's some classic fat sweaty Betty type shit. It's got that country vibe to it, and it's the way that they just put the song together from all the different vocals, the different high pitch. You listen to the chorus, that immediately gave me ICP vibes. You can tell that they're Juggalos. You can tell they're inspired by that. And this song is an absolute fucking showcase of that. So Klokwerk did this shit right. They told me they were a Juggalo without telling me they're a Juggalo. They have Juggalo references in there. Going to the emergency landing skit, the fucking military guy says that his call sign is 66517. That's Juggalo right there. They told me they were Juggalos without telling me they were Juggalos. They threw a reference in there, picked up on it. You know what I mean? They didn't have to make a bunch of songs. They've done it with Juggalo Penis, saying Juggalo this, Juggalo that, whoop, whoop, Great Malenko got my hatchet, chop, chop, chop. They didn't do that. That's what I don't like. That shit turns me off. Callbacks here and there are fine. In every single song, it's overkill. Like, don't pander to me. And Klokwerk did not do that here, and I really love them for that. Because they are Juggalos. They've been killing it in the fucking Juggalo scene. There's, like I said, one fucking line in the entire album mentioning Juggalo. Just, this album is so fucking good. I think it's a really good effort. Again, take out the two songs that don't really belong. Like, if there's anyone that's been listening to this right now and they're struggling with those two songs, delete them. Delete the two songs from the album and listen to it without them. To me, it's flawless. There are skits in there, but I feel like the skits are necessary. You know, Intergalactic Radio, when the first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, hey, this is funny. I like this. This entertains me. The second time I listened, I was like, okay, and I skipped past it. The third time I listened to it again, and I listened to the end of it where they crashed, and then you go into Dong, and you have Kyle saying crash landed somewhere in the bayou. I think that's the line he says. They're connected. So it's Intergalactic Radio is a necessary skit because they were flying around being stupid, listening to the radio, not paying attention, and then they crash landed on this planet. So it makes sense in the grander scheme of things why they have, skits. They're introducing themselves. They're introducing their characters, introducing their lore. I feel, at least that's what I picked up on. And it makes me wonder where the next album's going to go. And maybe that's where songs like Dama, Ya Mama, and Juggalo Penis will end up at. I don't know. But again, I don't fully understand why they didn't put those songs on there. I kind of get it at the same hand. They wanted new material. They wanted lore building material. And really the songs that they picked, the songs that they put on this album, they all really kind of have a similar feel and similar vibe that I picked up on and really liked. Again, taking out the two that do not belong. I'm going to fucking beat that horse until it's dead and then keep beating it. Those two songs don't belong on the album. That's just my opinion. Otherwise, it's a flawless fucking album. But if you have listened to the Emerald Tablets, you tell me down below what were your favorite tracks. And do you agree with me about Give Me a Show and That's My Bitch? Do you feel like they don't belong? And have you listened to the album without those two songs? Tell me down below what you guys like about the album. If you did not care for the album, tell me down below what you didn't like about it. Remember to be respectful. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.
DCFAYGOGUY. The instructions are clear. Put the album in your rear.
Shit. I may actually have to boot their fucking album now. Damn it. Oh, God, yeah. Okay, I think it's in there now. Oh, fuck, that's tight.
Babe, what the fuck?
The hell? It's not what it looks like.